Would you believe me if I told you that you have 1.3 ounces of salt in a can of soup? Would you believe that? Good. Check it for yourself. Go to your cupboard, get a can of soup, and take a look at how much salt is in it. Which brings me to this. So right about now, you're asking, what do those fritters have to do with soup? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But a few days ago, I was in the supermarket, and I looked on the shelf, and I picked up a can of chicken rice soup. And I decided that, this is something that I could make for myself, and I would know what's in it to a point. So I got a package of, the chicken soup, the chicken noodle soup, the one that's built for families. You add 4 cups of water and so forth. But to the 4 cups of water, I added 1 cup of rice. That's right. What I did was I had 4 cups of water, and to the 4 cups of water, I added 1 cup of rice, and I brought that to a boil. Needless to say, as always, I had my wooden spoon and I was mixing the rice into the water. Well, what can I tell you? Once the water, though, started to boil, after thorough mixing, of course, what I did was I brought the stove to a simmer, and once the water started to simmer, then what I did was I put the lid on to my pot and I let it sit there. In other words, I just let it simmer. 1 cup of rice, 4 cups of water, and let it simmer for approximately 25 minutes. Right about now, you're saying to yourself, wow, that's going to be some mushy rice, and you're absolutely right. This is what it looked like after about 25 to 30 minutes of mushy rice, which is fine. I then added the noodles out of the package to the rice. Just the noodles, mind you. So you had mushy rice with noodles added to the pot, the noodles that I got out of the package. Now, inside the package we had this bouillon. This is the stuff. This is what is created to give the flavor in your chicken noodle soup. I then crushed it up, put it into a cup. I mean, really as fine as I could, because what I wanted this to do was to be in some hot water, and then I would mix it like a soup. Now keep in mind that this package is made for 4 cups of water. Once I put that in the soup, once I put that into a cup and added hot water, I then mixed it really well, just like that, because what I wanted to do is get all of this dissolved, and then eventually when it's all dissolved, then I would add it to my soup, my rice rather. It was dissolved, and as I predicted, as I said earlier, I added it to the mushy rice, just like that, and I stirred it, and I mixed it well. I wanted everything to be mixed in. Keep in mind that what I really wanted to do was to duplicate the chicken rice soup in the can. And voila, this is what I had. Put the lid back on and I let it simmer for the 4 minutes on the stove again. Did I say 4 minutes? Actually, it was in there simmering for about 7 minutes or so, 8 minutes or so. In the end, this is what I had. Soft, mushy rice. Of course, my usual, I added butter. It was not bad, but it was not really something that you would serve to guests. It did not look good, but it was good. It was very flavorful, especially with butter. So I packed the rest of it into the refrigerator, into containers in the refrigerator. And then I thought, what am I going to do with this mushy rice? And then I had an idea. This was my idea. I would take a cup of that mushy rice, equivalent to a cup. Then I would get an egg. So I got an egg, put it into a bowl. Then I added about a cup of that mushy rice. Having sit in the refrigerator overnight, it became like that. And once I did that, it's all a matter of being creative. 1 egg, about 1 cup of that mushy rice. You with me so far? Of course, by now you know where I'm going with this, right? Okay, about a cup of that mushy rice, 1 egg. To that I added salt and pepper. And you ready for this? What I did was I mixed up everything. The egg in with the mushy rice, and this is what I had, like a batter. Aha! Well, the rest you can figure out for yourself. I gotta tell you something. I had a lot of food from 1 cup of rice. A lot of food. I could do this often. So, I simply use a tablespoon and spooned it into some hot oil. And voila! This is what it looked like. I never claimed to be a chef. All I can tell you is that when I'm cooking, I have some very interesting creative thoughts, and I think cooking is a creative process. So, once they got cooked on one side, I simply flipped them over to the other side. In the meantime, I went ahead and put a couple slices of toast in the toaster, preparing it for, yep, that's right. So, the toast was there. On top of the toast, I add a little bit of cheese, grated cheese on top of the toast. I like cheese. I might as well tell you that. I think you already know that anyway. And on top of that, I added my fritters, my chicken flavored rice fritters. I don't know what to call them. Maybe you can suggest a name. Anyway, there it was. My chicken flavored rice fritters. Enjoy, and don't forget to share your comments and suggestions, and thank you very much for watching.